55 years old. All I've known my whole life is working hard and racing. Racing is a lifestyle. Whether you're growing up at the racetrack, you learn work ethics, you learn camaraderie, and that's a skill that develops how to stay calm under pressure, how to adapt on the fly. I'm not a blind man trying to race. I'm a racer that went blind. Welcome to the Blind Machinist World Headquarters. So it's 20 feet right or left as I'm talking right now, and it's 30 feet deep. I grew up in a racing family. My mother was actually 8 months pregnant with me, and she won a drag race. I was doomed from the start. I was 8 years old the first time I went down the drag strip. Dad entered me in the mini bike class, and I came in second place. Then in high school, me and my dad built a 73 Nova together, and I bracket raced it every weekend. Chris was my brother, just 3 years older than me. He had the case with the Hot Wheel cars and over at Dad's house, so we always played with Hot Wheels as kids. Sadly, Chris passed away in 2009. The name of the Mustang Cobra is the Braille Snail. I want to put Braille on the car so if a blind person comes up, they can read it. This is the Braille Snail driven by Dan Parker, the world's fastest blind man. Tim here at Mafia Customs, in 1 week, sanded it, prepped it, fixed the bumper cover. They've just done an amazing job to detail it out and get it slick. Tim. Yeah.
I forget he's blind. The machinery he runs, a guy that can see is dangerous too. He does it 100% blind.
In 2005, we won the ADRL, the American Drag Racing League Pro Nitrous World Championship. And in 2010, we were the first side-by-side 3-second pass in Pro Nitrous history. That means both cars went 0 to 8th mile in under 4 seconds. 2010, in the ADRL Valdosta race, I runnered up to Billy Harper, and I went 399 in the final, and Harper went 392. Everything is happening so quick. The G-force is 3.2 Gs. Your body's feeling it, the acceleration and the tire shake, and you know, you're making corrections not by thoughts, by just natural seat of the pants feel, but your mind is in high gear, noticing things, hoping nothing happens, but you're also tensed up just hoping you got there first, even if it's by a half inch and a thousandth of a second. 399, that's our second career best pass, so we're tickled to death. I met Jennifer on the internet.
He and I had just almost given up on the dating world.
I'm gonna give her the test the first date. So I met her at Birmingham at a restaurant, and I drove a 66 Chevy 2 station wagon that was lowered with a surfboard on the roof. And I said, if she comes out and turns her nose up to the wagon, she's not gonna get date number 2. Well, she fell in love with the wagon.
He told me he built race cars, but he also raced pro mods. And Dan didn't know it, but pro mods are really my favorite class of racing.
My accident was March 31st, 2012. We were testing a brand new 864 cubic inch motor. The first pass really soft. I stepped up the second pass. I had our best 60 foot ever, 0 to 60 feet in 0.94 seconds. We were just there to test and gather data. But they were having a race. We decided to enter the race.
We were just sitting there and the car took off, and the guy that was running next to him took off too soon, which caused Dan to be behind just a little bit. When Dan took off, the car made a hard right turn.
I went 407 to 175 miles an hour through the trap sideways. It just ripped the car in half. There was nothing forward left of my feet. No motor, transmission, firewall, dash bar, steering column. It was all gone.
I just jumped up and ran into the pits.
My body went through 50 Gs of violent force.
The car was upside down when paramedics got to him, and he was still strapped in. They had to cut the straps to get him out. There were parts of the motor just everywhere. His right arm was broken, I could see that. They were trying to stabilize him.
So they put me in an ambulance with Jennifer riding shotgun.
And it just seemed like it took forever to get to the hospital.
This whole right arm was destroyed. Broke ribs, collapsed lung, chipped vertebrae in my neck, a crushed vertebrae in my back.
I remember holding on to his helmet and just, praying that he would make it.
So I was in a coma on the 14th day, brought me out of the coma, and when Jennifer and my sister would walk up, they would say something that would startle me because I didn't see him come up.
He asked for his glasses, and he put on his glasses, and they didn't help him. And then he just broke down.
They called the doctor, and he says, while you're in a coma, your brain swelled, compressed your optic nerve, and killed it. You're 100% blind, and you will be for the rest of your life. And then reality hit me that in 4 seconds, I lost everything I worked for my whole life. I lost my business, my racing career, everything.
I wasn't working at the time. I was focused on him and helping him.
We were just trying to survive. And during this time, just learn how to navigate the house, how to take a shower, how to brush my teeth left-handed.
The depression had gotten so bad.
And what saved me was I went to bed one night thinking about my brother, and Chris had always told me a story about 4 guys from France that built a 50cc motorcycle, drove to the Bonneville salt flats, each set a record. So I went to bed thinking about Chris that night, and at 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up with the most vivid dream that I would build a motorcycle and become the first blind man to race the Bonneville salt flats.
He figured out how he can build a bike to race the Bonneville salt flats with a guidance system.
When you're given a purpose, you don't get the instruction book, you just get the purpose. That started pushing me to learn technology, how to use my phone, all the accessibility options, to call people, surf the internet. I started networking with my race family again, met people, local buddies. Frank Porzio owns a motorcycle shop. He gave me a 50cc motorcycle, and I reached out to the Bonneville motorcycle speed trials. And I tell everybody, I think they thought I was prank calling the first time I called. So we started building the bike.
It was exciting to watch and just to see what he could still do even with his blindness. He was out there bending tubing and still doing some cutting.
Well, the biggest obstacle was how was I going to drive? You know, I'm going to call the smartest person I know, that's Patrick Johnson, my friend that works at Boeing Phantom Works, and I told him my dream, what I want to do, and could we build a guidance system? And Patrick's exact words were, that's easy if that's all you're worried about, start building your bike. I was talking to the National Federation of the Blind and the Bonneville speed trials. The motorcycle was 75% finished before they gave me permission. And they called me one night, I never forget this, we're gonna give you a shot, but you got rules. We're gonna set up a temporary course, and our tech officials have to observe you making passes, making sure you get on and off the salt safely. So I wanna be treated as a racer. I don't wanna be treated as a sideshow. We finished the motorcycle, they pushed me on side by side, and I'm trying to learn how to use the tones. In my first run, I made it all the way down the runway. Now, I look like a drunk come home Saturday night. You know, I was weaving and zigzagging, but I made it, and then I just broke down. So then we showed up at Bonneville in 2013.
They just set up the crew that was with us working at that time. They were phenomenal in getting Dan set up.
We make the pass, we're back in the pits, we're celebrating, preparing for a second pass.
When he was going down the track, I could see on the computer, you know, how fast he was going. No troubles, no overheating or anything like that. When he made it to the end, I cried. It was like he won the race.
I became first blind man to race Bonneville. There's been more people walk on the moon that's in the Bonneville 200-mile-an-hour club. And so just to be able to race on the salt was just unreal, and knowing how much my brother loved the salt flats and how proud he would be and how much he would be there with me. So when I built the motorcycle, it's got an oversized push bar on the back. When Chris died, I promised Mom I would spread his ashes at Bonneville. When I made that push bar, I put his ashes in the push bar. So he rode with me at Bonneville. The racer in me wouldn't let it stop. I set the record with the motorcycle, but I always knew there was a title out there for the world's fastest blind man. In 2014, Mike Newman from England set it at 200.5 miles per hour. I needed a new project to bring the Guinness record home from England to America for the world's fastest blind man.